Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk. Divorce, life, and everything in between. That's us. The podcast where we unpack the real stories behind divorce, healing, and starting again. Hi, I'm Lorraine Roberts, a holistic counselor, root cause therapist, and someone who's walked the hard road through heartbreak and healing. And I'm joined by Richard Morden. He's a divorce coach, EFT practitioner, and a man who knows firsthand what it means to rebuild life after loss. His calm, grounded approach helps people process pain and reclaim their power. And I love having these real, raw chats with him. So today we're going to talk about denial, not as a weakness, but as a survival response, because sometimes the truth is just too painful to face. So we explain it away, hope things will change, and ignore what our gut is trying to tell us. In toxic relationships, denial is common, but staying in it for far too long can cost us our identity, our self-trust, and years of our lives. So in this episode, we'll explore what denial is, why it shows up in narcissistic dynamics, and how to move through it with clarity, not shame. So, Richard, kick us off. What is denial and how would you describe it? Because it has so many different layers.
Well, denial is refusing to see what's in front of you in a sense of clear signs of something is wrong, but we refuse to break that bond we have with our reality
It's a
and went off track with it.
it's a psychological coping mechanism.
And you're right, because if we actually accept there's something wrong, we'd have to really break our own connection to our reality in ways. So there's a technical term, for that. But again, that refusal, because there's so much fear of the unknown. You know what this is. If I
Yeah.
deny something, it's unknown. And I think we've been taught so much to avoid the unknown.
Yeah. It protects us from the overwhelming
Overwhelmed.
emotional pain.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does. It is the brain's warm blanket when the heart can't handle the truth. It really is. And what does denial look like in a narcissistic relationship?
Again, we deny ourselves the reality that there could be something wrong, because I've talked to many people, and the person has someone confident or someone close to him says, you're married to a narcissist, or this person is a narcissist, and you have to go like, what's a narcissist? You're not even sure what the term is, so you have to, and then do you even look it up, because again, I've known somebody that's been through two or three relationships and realized, took afterwards they were married, each one was a narcissistic relationship. And just having that awareness is like the slap on the forehead. Oh my God, they were all narcissists. How how could I not see it? Because they're so good at getting by your critical thinking. They're
And
so good at that. Such a, and you could say I'm very educated, very intelligent, and everyone is. They all are. But that bypass, like you, and we would say, oh, I'm so smart, and we are. But that critical thinking, they know how to just layer information, layer love bombing in to just sort of step by your critical thinking and keep doing what they're doing, and you just go, no, I must be. It's like I don't know, because you don't know where to go.
yeah, the denial makes us minimize what's actually happened. So we think to say, it really wasn't that bad, and we rationalize things like, oh, they had a tough childhood, so that's why they're the way they are.
Yeah,
And they're just stressed and they justify it by saying, but really, he does love me. When we ignore all those gut feelings that we're feeling and we dismiss the red flags, we make excuses for things, and we'll hold on to the hope of, oh, but they're going to change. But they never do. It just goes on and on.
I want to talk about the red flags for something because I
Yeah.
realized with someone else they talk, but if you planted all the red flags, they might cover a few acres of ground like poppies. Because you look back, it's like, oh my goodness, how could I possibly miss that?
How could I miss that? Yeah.
Yeah,
How can I justify that behavior with all the other stuff, you know? Yeah, why do I miss them? I know it really makes, and that's where guilt and shame all comes in too. So we
on
deny it,
yourself.
yeah, we deny it to cover that up as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
And again, if you have children, you've got all these things, you've got this so-called nice life,
yeah.
this routine going on, you've got friends and family, and you go and you think, how they're going to put me away.
Mm,
There's no way this is real. So, because again, a big part of the narcissist, because everybody else will love them.
yeah.
They are so good at massaging everyone else, and you think,
Oh,
and people praise them. Oh my God, your partner is so loving and kind and so generous with us, and
and
you're like,
charismatic.
oh my goodness, unbelievable. Yeah. So it's probably, well, it will be the toughest challenge of your life.
Mm. Because
To
the bad behavior is behind closed doors. It's not what
Yes,
everyone else sees. So they just
yes.
don't see it. You know, they just don't
and,
see
and,
it.
and they will never believe it because and you're right. There's no way that person could do that because we've known this person for
Mm,
years, and have never even remotely touched on being anything like that. So, even your friends will look at you, go like, you got a problem, and it's you.
yeah. And they're probably being told that, you know, oh, she's got no memory. She doesn't remember anything. Oh, and, and you're blamed and blamed and blamed. So the
Yeah.
rest of the world see the blame because they're so wonderful. Yeah. So why do we stay in denial? Why do we not actually see it for what it is?
But it's not something we're taught.
No.
It's not something anywhere we're taught in school or anywhere else in some course sort of, growing up anywhere in emotional intelligence where they talk about denial.
Mm,
So we don't, such a foreign land for us to even visit. And yet we're conditioned by it. Like an example of how many families were like, we're taught denial, like we don't talk about that in our family. And maybe there's been financial problems, or maybe there's been abuse, because it's family reputation. So you're denied access, saying we're protecting our family, so you never speak about that again. So
mm.
we're threatened in our family, in our clan, in our tribal values, that this stays internally, and we'll deal with it, which means nothing is ever done because no one wants to be exposed by it, whether it's again financial, other things, or sexual. So everything gets kept quiet and stuffed down. So you're denied the even acknowledgement of the problem.
So our childhood conditioning, then we take that into our adult relationships,
Mhm.
and it's still there. Yeah.
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 So let's say that's where it starts, because I think we all did it, and we were like, threatened with our life that you dare speak of this, you say anything to anyone, you're in big trouble.
Yep.
And so I think that conditioning, and it's generational.
Yep.
And then we get into a relationship where there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and it could be denial of someone's addiction, not alone the narcissistic, but we're staying in the narcissistic umbrella. So we were never informed in any way of how to acknowledge or process or seek help with this. We're literally isolated in this whole umbrella of narcissistic abuse and
So what you're
denial.
actually saying is trauma bonding actually comes from our childhood, which we take
Mhm.
it in, and it's the addiction that comes from trauma bonding where we are so desperate to be loved by our parents, we are so desperate to be loved by our new spouse
Yeah.
that we hold on to it, and that's where the addiction is, and that's where trauma bonding comes from.
And again, we're conditioned to look for love from someone else for our fulfillment.
Mm,
talk about crazy, because when you think when they love me, then I know I'll be okay. And so they have told me they love me, they treat me very well, or whatever that they think that is. Therefore, I must earn that.
Mm,
I must continue to earn their love and respect.
mm,
I know that's another topic, so I have to be good. I have to do all these things so I can continue to earn and gain their respect and things. So that trauma bonding continues because we're always sort of in debit to the other, or debt to the other person.
yeah. We're also
And how
we're
dare
also
we do that?
yeah, and we're
Pardon
also
me?
scared of change as well. So we've got that fear
Yeah.
of change.
Yep.
Right? There's going to be financial loss. We're going to be alone. There's going to be shame. There's family pressure. There's that fear of everything changing and the
Mhm.
world. And then there's also the conflicting beliefs, but they love me so much, they wouldn't hurt me because they love me, so it must be me.
Yeah.
Mm,
So you made a comment when denial breaks, when
mm,
if something major happens, and perhaps sorry, with my hands on the screen, but when denial breaks and something happens and it really becomes to the forefront of there is this problem, and there's such a sense of inner betrayal
yeah,
with ourselves, because, and you can talk about that, how we, like, then we go back into shame and guilt and all the stories again. So I mean, it's a huge wheel of muck.
yeah, yep,
But again, you can either climb back, you can either pull the covers over your head and stay in it, or you can come out and really know you're in the fight of your life.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you realize that what you've been told is lies all these years, and what you thought you lived with somebody who was always honest and truthful and above board, and suddenly you say, but hold on, that what didn't happen. That didn't. My God, this person lies. And the more you look into it, the more you realize it's lie after lie after lie. It's a huge, I don't know, it's a real hit over the head. Why didn't I see these lies beforehand? So you've got self-judgment comes in there as well.
And
It's
again, we're conditioned though to always look for the good or the positive in somebody.
true,
We're not conditioned to be detectives,
true.
to be suspicious, unless again there's some trauma there that has made it that has incorporated that, where we're always sort of looking. We're conditioned to be accepting and loving and caring and always look for the good and try and but also to the point of almost rescue.
Mm.
And again, so we're never conditioned to look out for our own best interests ever.
No, we're not, are we? No.
We're taught to be kind, to be good, to always put other people first, make sure they're looked after, especially as women. You're the mom, so you must be the holder of the family. You got to
Yep.
hold everybody's duff and keep
Yep.
your mouth shut, and you be the good partner, good wife.
Yep.
And yet, when somebody mentions self-care, oh, that's selfish. Don't be so damn selfish. How
So,
dare you be selfish? And because you get shamed for that when you really just start to fight for your own rights. And again, families will literally kill someone in order to keep the family secret, or someone, say the man's a narcissist and the parents know it, but they don't want anyone to ever expose it. So now you don't want to expose. It's like somebody having an affair.
mm,
Don't you dare, because now the whole family will be shamed by this.
mm, mm,
So it's there's so many angles, but really when you're looking at, you can either stay in, or you can fight for your life and fight for yourself to step out of this. There's ways to do it, but it's going to take some work.
mm,
But it's being, once you see that, once the glasses have come off and you see the truth, like anything, like in movies, you can't put them back on, and you say, so what do I do now? I see the truth. Where the heck do I go, or how do I make steps from here? Because I realize my world is going to fall apart, but if not, I'm dying inside the way this is right now, and I cannot live like that any longer.
yep. Yep. If you put the rose-colored glasses back on, they actually become sunglasses, become
Mm,
dark because you can't look at it the same way
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. You just have to start shutting yourself off to so much of what's going on, and really continually shrink yourself down
Yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So once you've seen it, there's a lot of pain that follows after that because you realize how long you've stayed and why you stayed. There's shame, blame, there's grieving. You
Mhm.
really do. What if this relationship had been different? What if it had, what if we had, worked things out differently and the version of them you believed in is totally lost. So there's a lot of grieving to happen.
But recognizing that this person, when you really see it as a narcissist, there's nothing on their side is going to change. There is never going to be any acknowledgement of anything they have done wrong, any sort of resolution, any sort of compensation. So you are in a fight of your life because they will do everything they can to take everything from you.
Oh yeah, this is
So
this is really messy, this part.
don't look for any of those things or others from them because it'll never come. You have to do this and find somebody or more than person to support you in your path out of this, because there again, no resolution, no compensation, no acknowledgement of anything wrong.
No,
Never.
no.
It's the lies will build up, so you find a way to see your truth and your path out with the proper help and support. And again, this is what we both do to
Yeah,
help you have that space and that sort of resolution and that resilience inside you, and help you, you know, face these emotions with tools, not just with your own mind to try and calm yourself down, with physical, actual
mm,
tools to say, how do I work myself out? And we talked about journaling a bit here, and what you did, but I also say some people don't journal, but I'm a note taker. Post-it notes. I have notes online, so when something's in my head and I want to have some clarity, I put it in a note. Whether it's in my computer or on my phone. So again, I've got a bit of a trail because these things are showing up, and what am I feeling? What am I seeing? I want you to be able to sort of have a sense of tracking it, whether you do a recording, anything. There's all kinds of note apps. So there's dozens on your computer. But again, later on, and Lorraine's going to talk about the the
yeah.
burning of something.
Journaling is something that I absolutely do a lot of. So this is my own personal journal. I always have a really nice book which I journal, and I have questions to ask myself. But it has taken me a long time to get to the stage where I can write to my subconscious and actually come up with a lot of answers. But one of the best exercises that I tend to get clients to do is to write a letter to the person, absolutely putting everything down. So write down as many times as you want. I hate you. Oh no. Oh, this happened last time. Sorry about that. Um, la- yeah, is actually get them to write everything that's happened. Tell them how much you hate them. Tell them how much, they've hurt you. Tell them and absolutely pour it all down on paper and just keep writing, writing, writing. So, don't do it for 10 minutes. We're talking, do it for half an hour. If you've got through half an hour easily, keep going for another hour. Absolutely getting everything out of your brain as much as you possibly can. Then, and also writing it with a pen and paper. So you're literally writing, 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 and getting all that, all those emotions out. Then what I want you to do is to scrunch it up because you're not sending this to the person because, whoa, that would come back and bite you 1,000 times. I can promise you that. You get a lighter, you light it, in a safe space somewhere and in a container. So put it in a metal container or something, light it and absolutely burn it and watch the smoke and the flames and everything come out of it. And Richard and I were talking about this before, and he said that someone said the black smoke that came out of theirs was just incredible. So just let the smoke come out. Then you get the bowl and you tip it in the toilet and you flush it and you get rid of it. And that is an exercise that when you flush it, so you've written it, you're feeling the pain, You burn it, you feel absolutely fantastic. And then when you flush it, you know that you've just absolutely flushed the shit down the toilet virtually. And I'm not going to
Mhm.
put it any other way, excuse my language. And you will feel just so much better. And then tomorrow, if it comes up again, do exactly the same exercise and keep doing it until you've absolutely got it out of your body and you're really feeling better for it. And sometimes, you might do it tomorrow, you might leave it go a month, you might leave it go a week, whatever. As often as you need to do it and flush it and get rid of it. It makes a massive, 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 massive difference to you. And Richard also does EFT. EFT is another fantastic one. Do you want to speak on EFT for?
Sure. Yeah. I talk about, without having to do all the points, to finger tapping. Just because the meridians run through your hand, just finger tapping, and you learn to do it with your just like that, and sometimes just tap. And I call it the Chevy Chase rant. Just spit nails, just so just like you said, whether you want to do it on a letter or verbally, just curse up a storm about everything that's going on, anything that's driving you nuts about this. And again, just while you're actually right. And ultimately, what we're doing is helping regulate your nervous system,
Mm.
is having you given a space of calm and grounded. But we gotta, face and address what's going on. So I mean, there's a couple things there. There's another one you can hold, put your hand over your chest, one over your belly button, breathe. And again, something's on your mind, speak it out, speak it.
Yep. Yep.
There's another one like this. Again, sometimes you're looking at your head and put your head back, and then just again speak your truth. Don't hold anything back. Say what's really on your mind. Allow yourself to express your fears, your hates, your disgusts, your betrayals. And again, allow yourself to purge. This again, you're getting out, because all those things you've held on to do for decades, you're now able to purge. But again, please rant, whatever, paper, verbally.
Yep.
Um, you may want to beat up some wood or something physical. A nature walk and you know,
I was just thinking in Melbourne, there's things called smash, there's a smash room. And I know
hmm,
people that have gone, and I'm sure that if they're in Melbourne, they'd be all over the world, I'm sure. And
yeah,
people literally go in there with a baseball bat or some sort of
yep,
bat or something and literally smash the hell out of all this crockery. And they
hmm,
just feel fantastic from doing it. And they walk out and they just think there's nothing like it. They get kitted up in protective gear and then
yep,
they
yep,
just smash crockery. So, the good old Greeks, throw the plates into the fire. Oh,
yep,
well, this is the same sort of thing. And yeah, they think that's absolutely amazing. The other thing, once you've purged a lot of these emotions, I think there's nothing better than breath work and meditation.
yes, yep.
I I swear by breath work and meditation, and I've done two meditations already this morning. Um,
And lots of clean, good fresh water.
yes,
Give your system a
absolutely.
chance to flush. Little
Yeah.
lots of water to help your system cleanse.
So stay away from the sugar
Okay.
and McDonald's and junk
Junk
food.
food. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And also find yourself a really good therapist, someone to work with. Because when you're going through this, people who don't understand what you've gone through won't get it. So
Correct.
make sure you get somebody who really does understand what you've been through and can look at it subjectively, where you've got taken off the rose-colored glasses and put on the real, you've put on goggles.
Fresh, yeah, fresh glasses. Yeah. Again, you're not alone in this journey. You'll feel alone, but you're not alone, because many, 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 many others have gone through it. There's groups, there's chat groups, but use your critical thinking there too.
Yeah,
Where you don't fall into another trap. And I know it's hard. You don't know where to go, what to do, but I mean, reach out to us. If you don't want to work with us, we've got other people that we can
yeah,
recommend.
absolutely.
We would never want to betray your trust in that aspect. So, again, and put some comments in the comments, ask us questions,
Yeah,
and again, we're here to help, but we're also here. We're also authentic in our help, in
Yeah.
the sense
Yeah.
of if we don't feel we're the person, then we'll definitely find someone help for you that'll be a good match for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And honor the part of you that's ready to see the truth.
Mhm.
Tell yourself, I
Yeah.
forgive myself for surviving the only way I knew how to. That's a
Mhm.
really good
Yeah.
affirmation to say.
Yeah.
I forgive myself for surviving the only way I knew how.
Yeah. And it's true. You did the best you could at the time, and now you're doing the best you can with this new awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we're done. So if you
Thank
need
you.
help, reach out. There's even, if you're not feeling really great, there's always Lifeline and all the other lines.
Mhm.
That's in Australia. Reach out to someone and get some help. And thank you for
Thank you.
being part of our conversation today.